Hello everybody. In this lecture I will be discussing with you about the three types of transistor amplifier operation, that is common emitter circuit, common base circuit and common collector circuit. So first let us discuss about common emitter circuit. In short it is called CE amplifier. Now before going into this circuit, let me discuss about some introduction about this three types of circuits. Now you know that word common is being used because of it is common to the input and output. One terminal of the transistor is common to the other terminals for input cases and output cases, and that common terminal is generally grounded. So out of these three circuits, the common emitter circuit is by far the most frequently used of the three, and because it has a very good voltage gain and high input impedance, the common emitter circuit, and so it has very C circuit has very high voltage gain and high input impedance also. Input impedance. The common collector circuit, CC circuit, has unity gain, voltage gain of 1 only, voltage gain unity. So this is a specialty of this circuit, and also has very high input impedance and low output impedance. Very high input impedance and very low output impedance. And the common base circuit, it provides good voltage gain, reasonably high voltage gain, and but it is having a disadvantage of very low input impedance. Very low input impedance. But another specialty of common base circuit is it can operate at high frequency cases than the common emitter circuit more satisfactorily. So for high frequency applications, common base operation can be preferred. Now so this is the circuit for common emitter amplifier. You know this circuit, it is a very common basic circuit using voltage divider bias. Now this circuit employs emitter current bias or voltage divider bias, and it uses a bypass capacitor, which is this one, CE. So this is the bypass capacitor for AC bypassing. The bypass path is created parallel to this emitter resistance RE. AC bypassing capacitor, and the signal source Vs is applied as the input along with its internal resistance Rs. It is connected to the transistor base, that is the input side, because the input is applied to the base. Output is taken from the collector terminal. This is the collector terminal. Input is applied to the base and the emitter is grounded. That's why this is the ground. Emitter is grounded. So it is common emitter configuration. CE mode common emitter, CE mode transistor amplifier. So the AC source is connected via this capacitor. This capacitor is called the source coupling capacitor, input source coupling capacitor. Now you all know this because I have discussed about all these things in one of last lectures. And this capacitor, the other capacitor at the output connected with the collector terminal, it couples the external load resistor RL to the transistor collector. So this is the output coupling capacitor. it couples the load with the collector terminal of the transistor. So this circuit is a single stage amplifier because only one BJT has been used. There are no further connections, so this is called a single stage amplifier. Single stage amplifier, and with input output terminals are used with coupling capacitors. Now the polarity of the capacitors is very important to note here. There is, you can see there is a curve, one of the plate is curved. The curved bar on the symbol represents the negative terminal. Generally a curved plate on the symbol of the capacitor indicates the negative terminal of the capacitor, and the straight bar, that means the straight the plate which is shown as straight, that is at the positive terminal. So each capacitor must always be connected with its negative terminal at a DC voltage level lower than the DC level of the positive terminal, obviously. So in this example, this one, the first capacitor, that is the input coupling capacitor, its negative terminal at DC ground level because it is grounded through the signal source resistance Rs, because you can see the left terminal is curved, so, and this is connected through the source to the ground. Here the source is connected with ground, so this side is negative. So this and the positive terminal of this particular capacitor is connected with VB, because this node voltage is VB and this is at a positive voltage, this is not grounded, so that's why it is connected to the to this plate, and hence this plate is straight, this is not curved. Now if we incorrectly connect these capacitors are generally called polarized capacitors because of definite polarity on their two plates, and if they are wrongly connected, not properly connected, then it can result changes in transistor bias condition and poor AC performance. So I repeat, wrongly connected polarized capacitors, as these are the polarized capacitors having specific plate polarity, so one is positive, another is negative, and if they are wrongly connected, the unwanted changes may occur in the transistor bias condition, and also it results poor AC performance. Now to understand the operation of this circuit, first let us consider the need for the capacitors. We assume that all these capacitors have impedances which are extremely small at signal frequencies, and each capacitor hence can be treated as AC shorts. I have already discussed about this. So for consideration of bias condition, the capacitors must be treated as open circuits. So when we do the DC analysis, these capacitors will be obviously blocking the DC, hence they will not be discussed in the DC analysis of this circuit. So they should be treated as open circuits. So if the signal source were direct coupled to the transistor base without this capacitor, then the source resistance Rs would be directly in parallel with the resistor R2. That means you can see that this Rs resistance will be in parallel with this R2 without this capacitor, if had not been used. So this would reduce the bias voltage at the transistor base. So in that case the VB would have been reduced, and consequently it will change the value of IB, and IB will in turn change the value of IC. So DC bias condition would have been deferred if had this input coupling capacitor not been used with this circuit. Now similarly, if this load resistance RL, external load, were directly connected to the transistor collector without this output coupling capacitor, the DC levels of collector voltage VC at this point and VCE, that is the voltage between collector and emitter terminals, would be affected. So therefore this the Q point will also be differed. So that means it will affect the DC bias condition. So that's why the coupling capacitors are very much important for the operation of this circuit. But they will function as open circuit to DC and short circuit to AC. Now the bypass capacitor, this one, the CE, effectively ties the transistor emitter to ground level for AC consideration. So it will create a AC bypass path so that no AC signal can go through this RE, and thus all the input voltage Vi that is developed across the transistor base emitter junction, that is here, because of this Vs, all the alternating signal that is developed across this base emitter junction, that will be developed. And as we have already discussed earlier, the signal voltage alternately increases and decreases the VBE, because it is alternating in nature. So this, if this is VBE, this will be alternating in nature, and the VBE change in VBE or alteration of VBE will cause the base current IB to change, and the change in IB will produce a variation in IC. So this IC will change the voltage drop or alter the voltage drop or vary the voltage drop across the collector resistor IC, because IC will be flowing through this RC. So the drop across RC will be changed in that case. So this variation of drop across RC constitutes the AC output voltage VO, because that voltage is measured from here, the drop minus from this total VCC, this is plus VCC, this drop after getting subtracted from this total VCC will be reflected over here, and that is measured as the output voltage VO. What is VO? VCC minus the drop across RC. So if we subtract the drop across RC, we should get the VO, that is the actual output voltage. So that means the variation across the resistance RC, variation of voltage across the resistance RC will be reflected in the variation of the output voltage VO. So output voltage VO will also be a varied voltage. Now the phase relationship between the input circuit and output voltages can be determined by considering the effect of positive going input signal. So let us see. So this is the positive, this is an input signal which is alternating in nature, and this is the positive going half cycle. So when Vi increases in positive direction, this is Vi, Vin. So if Vin increases in positive direction like this, then it increases the base emitter voltage, because you can see from here, if this source is increases in positive direction, so this Vs plus Vb as a whole will increase the input bias voltage, voltage Vb. So that will be also positive going, because Vb is actually a DC voltage that is added up with this positive going AC voltage. So overall Vb will be positive going. Now this if this total voltage will be increasing, then what will increase? It will raise the level of IB. So base current will be increased, because this will result, VB will result the flow of base current into the base, and if base current is varied or increased, that means IC will also be increased. The output current will also be increased, because you know the IB and IC is related by beta. So now if IC is increased, that means obviously the voltage drop across RC will be increased, and if voltage drop across RC is increased, if this is the voltage, collector voltage VC, that is VCC minus ICRC. So that means if this is increased, that means VC will be found by this, and as a result the VC will be decreased. So if ICRC is increased and if this is constant, that means VC, collector voltage, will be decreased. So so it means that if the input signal increases in positive direction, the output signal goes to negative direction. So you can compare these two. This is the input signal, this is the output signal. If it is going in positive direction, it will go in negative direction, it will increase in negative direction. So that means output will be the inverted form of input, amplified inverted form of input. So now similarly, so this is there is a phase relation. So we can say it is inversion, means it is inverted phase in the positive half cycle. Similarly, when Vi goes negative, increasing in negative direction, the resultant decrease in VB or the base voltage will reduce the base current, and that means IC level, that means the current IC level will be decreased. So if ICRC is decreased, that means VC will be increased. So we can say that it will produce a positive going output voltage. The negative going input voltage will produce a positive going output voltage. Thus, V in going negative means V out should go positive. So obviously in this case also there is a 180-degree phase out relation. So this discussion will establish that the amplifier output voltage is 180-degree out of phase with the input voltage. So you can see from here, so the phase relation between input and output is 180-degree, V in and V out is 180-degree out of phase. So phase inversion will happen between the input and output signal of the common emitter mode transistor amplifier. The voltage amplification or gain of the circuit is given by AV is equal to VO by V out by V in, like this is the formula, you know, and AV depends upon, the voltage gain depends upon RC and RL, because RL is the load resistance, RC is the output resistance. So AV is a function of RC and RL and upon the other transistor parameters also, and other parameters of transistor. So we will later on see how the voltage gain, input impedance, output impedance can be determined by AC analysis of the circuit. But if we want to just theoretically discuss about the AC analysis of this circuit, we can say that it is we need to first draw the AC equivalent circuit, and this is done by replacing the capacitors with short circuits. So to draw the AC equivalent circuit of this circuit, we have to remove the capacitors and replace them with a short, because these capacitors for AC signal passage, you know, they will act as AC shorts. For DC, capacitors will be in open condition, for AC capacitors will be in shorted condition. So the AC equivalent circuit will be having capacitors represented as short circuits. So this is done by replacing the capacitors with short circuits, and also since the supply voltage VCC remains constant, this supply voltage plus VCC remains constant, it must be treated as another AC short, because if anything is constant, that means that should be treated as a short circuit. So this VCC will be also, this source will be replaced by a short also because of AC analysis. So this means that the plus VCC terminal is at the same AC potential as ground. So in the AC equivalent circuit, if we want to draw that, so I am just coming to that. So this is this will be the AC equivalent circuit. Of the particular above of this circuit, the C common emitter mode configuration. This is R1, R2, they are parallel. IB is flowing, I small b, Y small, because it is AC analysis. IC small, the collector current. The RC is connected. RC is connected at the output, and across it VO, the output is taken, and the load resistor is shown like this, RL, and this is ground, and this voltage is, this is RS, and here the signal source is connected, this is VS, and as a total this is VI. So this is the equivalent circuit, AC equivalent circuit. You can see that the all capacitors are shorted, and also the VCC has been shorted because of its constant nature. So the R1 is connected between the transistor base and the ground. R1 R2 are parallel, and similarly RC is connected across the collector terminal and the ground. Now when an external load resistor is present, RC and RL is in parallel. So this is the AC equivalent circuit of the above configuration. Now in this circuit, the input voltage is developed across the transistor base and emitter terminals. You can see over here, this is the base terminal and this is the emitter terminal. Between that, the input voltage is developed. The output is taken from the collector and emitter terminals. This is collector and this is emitter terminal. From here across this RC or RL, the output is taken. Now since the emitter is common to both an input and output, so it is called common emitter or grounded emitter configuration. Some common emitter circuits may not include the bypass capacitor. In some circuit you can find that bypass capacitor is not present. So alternatively, the emitter resistance may be made up of two series connected resistors with the bypass capacitor only one of the two. In any situation where an unbypassed emitter resistor RE exists, RE must be included in the AC equivalent circuit. So if we consider that unbypassed emitter resistor is there, that means if this circuit had been without the use of this